a riptide, a bad weather, or you can get a cramp. So it's very, very important that when you swim in open water, you never swim alone. You swim with somebody, or you take a boat or a rescue boat with some local in that area. And the other important thing for parents, no alcohol before swim, right? Not a heavy meal also. Make sure you keep your stomach pretty light before you do a long swim. And the main thing is all of us being swimmers, swim coaches, swim parents, we need to write about how dangerous water is. Even though we love the sport, even small kids, if you bring a 2 or 3 year old to watch somebody swimming, you need to be with them all the time. Right? It just takes 2-3 seconds. It's happened in many of my classes where we as coaches are watching the kids in our classes. And maybe a grandfather or grandmother, for just 2 seconds if they look away, a small child who's 1 or 2 is attracted to the water, because who wouldn't be attracted to water, right? They run towards the water and just jump in. So we have to be very careful inside. So in, on, near water, it is our duty to see some unsafe practices in your own apartment. If there's no lifeguard, you see small kids in the pool. If you see some dangerous practice in the beach, educate other people that water safety is important. So I'm not sure if some of you know, but drowning is the second highest cause of accidental death in India, and it's second only to road accidents. So even COVID, dengue, malaria all comes after drowning. So it's very important that even people who are coaches here, you teach all your swimmers water safety, doggy paddle, how to stay afloat in a deep pool, because at the end of the day, swimming is a life-saving skill. So very, very important to know it and also to educate other people and get them also to learn. Okay, thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I would just like to add a small thing of what Nisha spoke about. Especially, she said something about not having a heavy meal, but you definitely need to have something. I do remember when we were just coaching when we are coming to the pool, and sometimes I feel drained, I feel dizzy, and it can happen to anybody. And the kids are in the water, so it's a bit more. You never know. It doesn't matter how good they are. I'm not sure if everybody heard about the 21 Tokyo Olympics, where synchronized swimmers drowned. You know, and their breathing capacity is way better than swimmers actually. You know, they have to stay a long time in the water, and they have to swim upside down. There's a lot of aspects, and somebody over there drowns, so you never know what happens, and always good to have somebody to look over, some lifeguard or a coach, and something to eat as well. Not too heavy, and now today we have competition. We have a warm-up pool. You can see a lot of pushing and pulling, and running and jumping. You never know. They might slip and fall down. So please advise your kids not to do that. It's called a warm-down pool for a reason. It's not a play pool, and this happens in all the competitions. So please make sure of that. And last but not the least, it's we need to always not take things for granted. Kuch nahi hoga, all this. We should not do that, especially with swimming. So please be careful and have fun.
Another message to all the parents, I really feel one of the best things you can do is also learn how to swim. So we'll have more swimmers, but also when you learn to swim, you'll also have a renewed respect for water, for how tough it is, how dangerous it is. So it's really important that the parents also, I know you don't have much time being a swim parent, but try and get at least some basic swim classes under your belt.
Thank you so much. We have a couple of rapid fire questions for you. So, yes, this is Rotarian Rajshekhar, and we have Rotarian Joseph as well. So, the first question, Sharad, is to you. We get the confidence that we have excellent swimmers in swimming pools and we can swim anywhere we want. And sometimes people are seen jumping headfirst without knowing how deep the water is. So, what would you like to advise people when they are around unknown waters?
I personally, when I go for a beach vacation or anywhere, I don't go too far away from the shore. And, even though I've swam open water competitions, but I don't take that risk. I just go to enjoy, and I make sure that I'm safe. And yeah, head first and everything, it looks good, but there are certain points where people do it, but they do it in a safe manner where there are a lot of people around. Like we have Mr. Partha Varnasi, who is from Bangalore. He does cliff diving and all those things, but he knows where the exact points are, where the water is deep, and he's never alone, of course. So yeah, always have someone with you.
Thank you. One more question is around the beaches again. During the cyclone time, or you have rains for months in these places, so locals will be like, sir, don't go near water. If something happens to you, we will not come to rescue. Then again, that overconfidence that we have, 50 meters I swim without taking the rest 10 times, 40 laps, 50 laps I swim. What is this? Just a thing. So how do you approach people, or when someone gives you a warning like that, a local light, should you actually take care or have that confidence that I can swim anywhere?
Open water swimming is very, very different from pool swimming. So I swam a 5-kilometer race last year in Goa, and we got stung by about 30 jellyfish. Now even as an Olympian, I literally almost didn't make it because it was painful. Some of other people, some of my other swimmers were bleeding. So anything can happen. So never ever take things for granted. And if the locals are telling you something, they know their water is much better than you do. So if you see a red flag on the beach, do not enter the water. You can be an Olympic champion, you can still drown. Right? The sea is much stronger. So all of you also always make sure that you stick with your parents, stick with grown-ups. If the lifeguard tells you not to go in a certain area, don't go. So it's very, I think swimmers generally are more careful because they know how tough the swim is. Because if you think it's just 50 meters, it looks very short, but in open water, you can swim for hours, just 1-2 kilometers if the tides are very bad. So always mind it, be very, very careful. And before any kids go into an open water competition, you should have some practice classes in open water with some coaches or lifeguards before you take part in an open water competition.
Thank you. And one more major killer is peer pressure. You might know swimming, someone from your friend circle might not know swimming. It's like nothing will happen, you'll get them into the water. If something untoward happens, it's very difficult for the family, right? So you have to be very careful when you get people inside water, so please be extra careful on that. We wanted,
One more thing, don't try to be a hero and jump yourself and try to save someone, because person who is drowning is much stronger than you. They will have 10 times more power than you, so always have a floating device with you, a tube or wood, log, anything is.
So basically when someone's drowning, they're panicking, they would like to hold on to anything or anyone who's close by. So it's very important that we handle the situation with care and with some floating device.